Hello, 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 everybody. Dave here, and we are now officially live here. This is VideoCast number 9, I believe. Yes, it is. And we're joined by intern Danny. Hello,
Yo,
intern Danny.
hey.
And our guest today is 2andaHalfStooges. He does, well, tell us what you do, Michael. What do you do on your YouTube channel for those who have no idea what you do?
I play video games like a couple thousand other people.
Sweet.
Mainly Nintendo stuff and RPGs. I guess if I have to pick out one sort of game, it would be Pokemon.
Cool. Cool. Definitely a good choice. So today for our topics, we are going to be covering, well, it's sort of a 50-50. I like this conversation or topic. Why do you guys join YouTube? Is it going to be for making profit, or is it going to be for the ability to have fun and produce and upload and all that jazz? So actually, we could start off with that, and then we're going to move into SEO and all that stuff, and then software piracy. But we'll see from there. So, Michael, what are your thoughts on SEO and how to rank up your channel in the search engines and all that?
I've always been somewhat interested in how search engines and things work. I hear a lot of like tags and video titles and things like that. And recently, I've also found some information that says there's a lot more to it than even that. Actually, the title of the video that you upload to YouTube itself before you even publish it actually has an impact. So if you were to just say, I don't know, if you're playing Dark Souls and you abbreviate it like DSO2 or something, it will be ranked differently than if you were to name the source file Dark Souls Episode 2 or something like that.
Yeah, definitely topic choice and topic order, description order, tag order, all have an impact. In fact, if you guys, after this episode, go back and watch the VideoCast number 8 with Scottish Geeks, we covered a lot of SEO, and he does that as a full-time job with a major company. Danny, what are some of your thoughts on this?
For me, the YouTube creator playbook has helped out a lot. I mean, I know it's like super cliche and YouTube pushes it all the time, but it really does have some really good tips in there, as well as audience retention is really important. I know they've been factoring that into their search ranking algorithms and whatnot a lot more lately. So be sure that your audience is like watching the entire video and not leaving early. With that, making sure that you have like a strong intro to keep your audience hooked so that they're not leaving after a few seconds, because that can really ruin your search rankings.
Yeah, I also like at the end of videos, I'll put the last 20 seconds, I'll shrink down that main video to top left corner, and then have playlists that go over to things. It's called an end slate, and we've covered that in previous episodes as well.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely have, and like you were saying, that's good to have your videos still play while the end slate's going, instead of just having an end slate that features other videos but not you talking, because that drives people away and they're not watching the entire video then.
So do you guys have any tips or tricks on, do you know any other sources other than the YouTube Playbook, which is a good source? We also have socialplay.com/book, which is a product made by Tim Schmoyer from Video Creators TV, and it's a 30-day plus guide to YouTube. And it's a fantastic layout, great for anyone that's just starting or maybe into YouTube for 6+ years or so. What do you guys suggest as far as other sources away from those two?
I know that. Oh, go.
Go for it. No.
I know that RPM Network's actual YouTube channel has a lot of things, and they update that pretty frequently.
Hey, you see Endless Grind 78 in the chat room. It's actually a good question. So let's move into the topic of money versus having fun on YouTube. A lot of people join YouTube these days thinking, I am so going to be rich, I'll never have to do a full-time 9-to-5 job or even a part-time job because YouTube is just going to pay all the bills and then some. And sorry, it's not true. It works that way for some people, but it's pretty slim to none that's going to work that way these days. So don't think that you're going to start a YouTube channel and make a big bank money off of it and never have to work a regular job again. In fact, a lot of people do YouTube and then on the side also have a job. So what are your guys' thoughts on actually doing YouTube? Is it more a focus on making profit, Or are you there for the fun, or is it a little bit of both? We'll start off with 2andaHalfStooges here, Mike.
Uh, I don't want to end up sounding like you shouldn't ever want to make money off of anything because, well, that's kind of ridiculous. But at the same time, I do think that the main focus of doing YouTube should be to have fun because
Yeah.
I guess a good analogy would be that your odds of being able to pay your bills and house and everything off YouTube is about the same as become a professional athlete. And we know that that doesn't happen to very many people.
Yeah, it's definitely something you don't want to be like, oh, you'll never ever make money off YouTube. There's definitely a chance to make some money, but I think a lot of people are joining networks and signing up with AdSense and like, oh, this is going to be fabulous. I'm going to join this network and just look at the money side of things. And they don't even think about video, the audience, and everything, building the channel, the fun of production. Danny, what are your thoughts on this topic?
Right. You definitely need to make content for you. Make content that you can enjoy making and consistently keep creating. If you're only doing it to make money, I'm sure after a while it would get really tiring and you'd get bored, and your audience can see that you're bored making the same content all the time. So yeah, it's definitely important to find what you can do on YouTube that you have fun with. And if you happen to make a little bit of money off of it, great. But all of the currently successful people on YouTube wouldn't do it with the idea that they were just going to upload videos for fun. And especially the case with people that started earlier on, there wasn't that opportunity to make money there. They were doing it just because they enjoyed it, and that money came later on.
Definitely. Briar TV earlier before we started the show said, where do you cross the line when it comes to profiting from YouTube for the video casts? Oh, I'd say it's definitely one of those, it's a light topic. You don't want to keep pushing ads or trying to push people to pay money because it's going to drive them away. But you definitely want to at least try to promote a little bit something there on the side. So
sure.
Yeah.
And with like product placements and things, my rule of thumb, I mean, I've never done one, but if I were to do one, I would only do it if it would benefit my audience too. I wouldn't like blatantly promote a product if they weren't getting any sort of like a discount on the product or if I didn't really enjoy it. Because you want to stay true to yourself and you don't want to just become a massive sellout by
Definitely.
pushing things that you have no interest in or that aren't going to benefit your audience.
Definitely. I don't know, is there anything else we can cover on the two topics? We can stretch it out a little bit more, or else we can talk about another topic. We wanted to talk a little bit about software piracy, because I think it's a huge subject and something
Everyone's favorite thing to talk about.
It's an interesting subject on top of this too. I know some companies, I think it was Adobe, in the past had said, I don't know if they're still doing this, probably not. In the past, they used to say something along the lines of, it's okay to download our product if you can't afford it, but once you're making profit enough to buy it, then do so. Buy a license for it. I actually do enjoy that outlook of getting the software. I mean, I think there should be an easier way to download it rather than stealing from like torrent sites and all that. I mean, there should be an extended trial period where somebody can download it from the Adobe website, try it for like maybe a few months or maybe even a year in some cases. And then at the point where they're really using it, they're hooked on using it, they really know how to work with the program, and they're making profit from what they're working on, then they could buy a license. So what are your guys' thoughts on something like that?
I think that's what they were sort of going for when they started the Creative Cloud. And from what I've heard, it's sort of working, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And I know there's a lot of good free alternatives to the professional things that a lot of people use. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, I got to make some graphics for YouTube, and it has to be done in Photoshop, right?
So yeah, Photoshop CS6 or like get off the internet, right?
Yeah, they got to go find Photoshop and download it and steal it. Meanwhile, there's great programs like Paint.net or GIMP, both free programs that we've covered in the past, easy to work with in most cases, and sometimes the Adobe Premiere stuff and Photoshop and all that is quite overpowered for what you want to do. And it's got an interesting workflow that most people, I guess, are hooked on. But the other programs do work the same in the end. In terms of video editing software, Sony makes some good stuff for like $30 on up, and I've worked with that in the past. So if you can't afford too much, Sony makes some great video editors, or you can always use Windows Movie Maker, or is it like Windows Live Movie Maker. I forget what they call it these days,
Yeah.
but it's gotten better over the years if you're on 7 or 8 in terms of
Yeah.
Microsoft Windows. But
They also have a few open source video editors that are surprisingly good for how complicated video editing can be. I believe Lightworks is the main one that's people usually like in terms of open source.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Never used it. Isn't that Mac only? I'm looking at it. I think it's Mac and Windows. They run it on a Mac for their advertisements. Mac beta testing. Okay, there you go, guys. So sign up for the beta test.
Well, and then along with that, I think it's definitely important to have good quality content, but the actual thing that you're recording, if you're doing gaming, or if you're doing blogs or whatever, what you're talking about is more important than actually having a high production value. Or at least that's what I've seen, because some of my favorite videos come from like 2008, back when people didn't have nice cameras or nice video editing software. So focus on, the message or whatever you're trying to do in your videos instead of worrying so much about the quality right away. Especially if you're just getting started on YouTube. Like, that's not the most important thing, in my opinion.
Scottish Geeks actually wanted to ask you, 2andaHalfStooges, what inspires you to make your videos? What's your inspiration? And also, if you guys in the audience out there have any more questions for our guest, feel free to type in the chat. We'll go through them.
I just saw the chat on YouTube explode. I don't know what's with that. But a few years ago, I was sort of discovering YouTube, I guess the word would be, and I saw that people were doing commentary over gameplay footage. And long story short, I basically said that is a hobby with my name written all over it. And me and my brother started doing that. It wasn't very good. I'll just go say that. You can probably still find some of that old garbage on my channel if you really want to, but I don't recommend it.
Totally going to look that up right now.
I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, that's how that happened. It also sort of explains my username and why it sort of refers to more than one person. But
now, if somebody was joining YouTube today and you had one piece of advice, what would you give them?
have fun.
Definitely have
It's
fun.
always the first thing I say.
Yeah,
I know for me,
endless grind. Randy in our chat room says, if you're the only one reporting on it, it's a good idea. He said something earlier. If you aren't having fun with your viewers, your viewers will be able to tell, and therefore, it's definitely going to draw attention away more than having a lot of fun.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. My Skype has a 1 next to it. I have no idea if somebody tried to chat me, but I can't view it. I'm sort of running out of ideas on what to cover here, guys. And we're 12 minutes in. Anyone have creative questions?
So, what have you learned since you started YouTube and where you are now? Like, during that process, what have you sort of realized about YouTube?
I guess it's the obvious. I've gotten a lot better at handling video and image editing and stuff like that. I'd also say, and I've heard a couple other people say this too, that I've gotten better at public speaking since the last 3.5 years. Which
Absolutely.
is a little weird to me because talking to a camera isn't quite the same as talking to a live audience, but hey, I guess it works.
For sure.
True. Yeah, I definitely found, I used to be a much more quiet person. I never really did live streaming and all that jazz. And about 3 years of doing YouTube, you can go back to my old videos and see how monotone and quiet and just not energetic at all. And through the years, you definitely become more comfortable talking both on camera and in real life. I think there's definitely a relationship there. But definitely learning the software, learning how to set up microphones, lighting, all the equipment and production from pre-production into post-production. Learning all that is just fantastic, and I think really, really helpful too. So there's so much to learn out there, and so many, and on top of that, definitely a lot of, not only on YouTube, but on other websites, how to learn how to do all this stuff. I mean, Vimeo, if you want to subscribe to lynda.com, or even most of the tips and tricks that we have in our playlist here at the Social Blade YouTube channel. So good stuff there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I do a lot of like live broadcasting online. I used to do a daily live broadcast where I would just talk to whoever wanted to talk in the chat. And I went back and I watched my first one that I did a little over 2 years ago, and the lack of energy, like, in me, like, I was just sitting here with the most uninterested face, like, having nothing to talk about. And then watching one that I did a week ago, the difference was insane.
Definitely.
Like, I've learned to be able to speak more fluently and convey thoughts out loud a lot better. So YouTube is definitely great for that.
Endless Grind 78 in the chat room once again. He's coming up with some great questions. He says he has a new YouTube channel and he wants to know, should he use his currently successful one to promote it? Actually, that's a great question. I started my third channel, the Fast Food Review, and I've got 8K subs on the Sonic Corp Studios one. And yeah, I did one promotion video, I think, but it was on a smaller vlog channel and a half. I mean, I would definitely say do one video, shout it out, say, hey, if you're interested in that, go check it out for me. Because you've got the audience relationship there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's definitely a good topic to talk about because I've been considering that myself. I used to, before I created my Danny Fratelli channel, I ran a tech channel where I reviewed products and did unboxing videos and things. And I've been considering starting that back up again, but my audience that I have now really isn't interested in tech. So I've been, yeah, I've been toying with that, whether or not I should like tweet about the videos on my Twitter, or make a video about it on, you know, my current main channel. And what I've sort of decided is that it's an entirely different brand. None of my audience that I have now is interested in it. So I'm considering making like a whole separate Twitter and Facebook and everything just for that channel. But yeah, what are your opinions on that, Michael?
I think it definitely couldn't hurt. If they're interested, then they'll probably go look. And if they're not interested, well, they don't have to. They probably won't go and dislike it or anything.
Yeah, that's why I say at least give it a shout out at least once, but don't keep trying to cram it down their throat because you're just going to drive everyone away from every channel.
Yeah.
Actually, Danny, I'm looking at the video feed. Can you tilt your camera down a little bit more? Because you're just ahead.
No, whoops, my bad.
Thank you. Like, that looks awkward.
Yeah, a little bit.
Scottish Geeks, what are your opinions on people spamming comments with please sub or your first style comments? Yeah, I don't like those channels. I don't like those comments that say sub for sub or please sub me. I mean, they instantly either A, get spam filtered by YouTube's new system, which is usually the case, or B, I just delete them because I'm not a fan of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I haven't seen too much of sub for subbing recently, but I know back in like 2010, everybody would go on Fred's channel and spam the channel comments with sub for sub all day long. And I definitely used to do that on an old channel of mine. So just for grins the other day, I went and uploaded a new video to that to see if it would get any views. And after 2 days, it had exactly 1 view with like 3,000 subs. So sub for subbing is definitely not a good way to do anything.
I think a lot of people have learned too these days that A, it's going to get spam filtered, B, it pisses people off. So they're not doing it as much.
Mostly the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout it out for me then, Dave. What? I have no idea what you want me to shout out in those Grand 78. Feel free to type the channel name in, though. Yeah, a lot of people are like, can I share my channel? I don't think you could post links in the live chat. You could put your channel name in, but it doesn't allow links.
You have your username next to the comment.
That's true.
I guess there's that.
I don't know how to say it. It's like Fabio Santos? Fabio!
Something like that.
Just butchered his name twice.
That being said, though, instead of just, trying to get people to subscribe to your channel saying, hey, go check out my channel, work on becoming friends with people and creating, relationships and networking. Because if you develop a connection with a person, they're a lot more likely to go check out your channel and then actually watch all of your content and leave comments and like your videos. Because if somebody was to put in the chat right now, hey, check out my channel, like how likely are you to actually go check it out, right? You're not gonna. But if you actually took the time to talk to somebody personally, you're a lot more likely going to check out their channel.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's definitely important, especially And I know we talked about this last week, but finding people that make similar content to you and then sort of promoting each other like that, that's definitely a really great way to build up your audience.
And then it's more fun too, which is what we were saying a little while ago. It's definitely more fun to make videos with people that you like instead of alone.
Yeah.
And you definitely want to build that audience relationship too, because I mean, what's the fun of making a video that gets like 100,000 views but only has like 5 comments on it? So it's great to build that two-way communication, and you can do that multiple ways. The way I like to do it is put questions within your video saying, hey, this is what I'm covering here. What are your thoughts on this? Have you tried this or that? I do that all the time on the food review channel that I've got now. So if people have gone to Wendy's and tried their bacon cheeseburger or something, I want to know if they tried it. What are their thoughts on it and stuff like that. So great communication skills on there. If you guys watching this video cast have any great tips on building audience relationship and getting people to comment in creative ways, let us know those tips too.
Yeah, and then using social media to further that communication too, tweeting your viewers and responding to comments on Facebook and messaging people like that.
You definitely want to branch out from just YouTube as well. Definitely have multiple social media accounts: Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Instagram, stuff like that. The more you can branch out, there's more places for people to find your brand. The higher you're going to search rank on a general Google search in terms of stuff like that too. So definitely want to diversify away from just YouTube. And you may want to upload to multiple sites too. I mean, if YouTube were to shut down tomorrow for whatever reason, your videos are gone.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to have that audience somewhere else in case YouTube ever, stops working or YouTube stops becoming a thing for you. You have that audience somewhere else that you can take them to your new content. Or if you decide to start a blog, they'll be able to check out your blog from your social media if you ever stop doing YouTube. Plus, we all know how great YouTube subfeed is with delivering content videos to people.
There's been a lot of complaints about that recently. I saw
good to have the other distribution methods.
Socialblade.com/chat, somebody was saying, there's multiple complaints since yesterday or something, that some settings were changed and some things were broken and people aren't getting the subfeeds anymore. I'm like, I'm subscribed to 73 channels. I'm not going to go channel to channel and get their latest uploads like that.
Yeah, that sounds like YouTube.
Yeah.
I've also heard claims that they're doing it somewhat deliberately so that they promote the bigger channels so that they,
That doesn't sound right.
I don't think we need to,
They've already
I don't know if they're true or not, but...
Promote the small channels, please.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just promote me. Just put me on the front page.
Right. So I have a question for both of you then. Have any of you tried I believe they call it the Fan Finder program, where you can submit your own pre-roll ad that YouTube will try and promote and run?
I've looked at it, haven't tried it yet. Honestly,
I've been telling myself
pretty interesting.
I've been telling myself that I should for a couple months now, but I'm just lazy.
Right,
when it comes to certain things.
Yeah, he's in the same boat as me. I've been trying to since the channel trailers function was unlocked. I said I'm going to make a channel trailer.
I still have to do that.
Because I was just wondering about that because I know I've seen a lot more Fan Finder videos pre-rolling as I just browse YouTube. So I've been considering getting on that myself, making one.
The people that I know who do use it do say that it has some effect on their channel growth too. So it's not like it's useless or anything. Definitely not.
It's nothing to lose.
Scottish Geek says, could any of you live without your YouTube channel?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'd probably be uploading Vimeo again, though. I like producing either for YouTube and online or just in general. I mean, I do freelance work every now and then, too, so I much more prefer getting out of the house, operating camera, be it with one of my multiple flying crafts and flying cameras all around, or just covering an event for an hour or two. So I generally do that. Steel Curtain Gaming. Have you guys talked about the YouTube preferred channels yet and those things? I'm not too familiar with the preferred channels things. Do you guys have any information on that?
So basically what it is advertisers now have the ability to pay a premium and run ads across YouTube's like top 5% of channels. They went and picked like specific channels that are a part of the preferred channels program, and the advertisers can pay more, and in turn the creators will get paid more as well for those ads running on them. But it doesn't really affect the smaller guys at all.
That sounds like it has more to do with the ads that show themselves, not really the channels, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's a thing for advertisers to be able to deliver their ads on content that will hopefully have a higher return for them.
I see.
Definitely. I don't know. You guys have any closing thoughts? What if somebody offered a lot of cash for possession of your channel? What would be your answer? It's a great question.
I don't think anybody would want my channel with the way that I consistently upload. It's been a couple months, but sure.
I don't know if I would give it up or not. I mean, I'm 50-50 on that. I don't have a huge audience following. I got a lot of views over time because I did tutorials and such and product reviews, and they just consistently, even years later, get views. But if I were to ask a question, I don't really get all that many comments. So I don't know who would want my channel either, but I don't know if I'd give it up. I like YouTube, and it's linked to my business name, which is Sonic Corp Studios. So
yeah, that's true. I don't want somebody impersonating.
Yeah, I can't give it away. Yeah. So guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. We covered quite a bit, and we're running down on the wire here. We're gone for like 26 minutes anyway, so that's pretty much our live stream time. If you guys are interested in this show or being on this show, I will leave a link in the description below on how to apply. I think it's like socialblade.com/FAQ apply or something. Don't quote me. I don't know. We got a redirect created recently. So you guys can apply for that. Also in the description below, we'll have a link to apply for the community, Social Blade Community Spotlight channel thing. And we've had multiple people, including Funny Stuff and Cheese and other channels that have applied for that and have done great. And we've got another one coming up shortly. He's in the middle of producing it. So stick around and keep an eye on stuff like that. If you guys want to check your stats, all are at socialblade.com. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the social media websites, and they're linked all at socialblade.com, so you can check your stats and find us there. And of course, you can find 2andaHalfStooges on YouTube. We'll have a link in the description below. I think it's there already. So subscribe to his channel. Let him know that you love his stuff. Give him a few likes and comments and all that jazz. And you know where to find Danny. He's all over the place. He's right here.
I am. Hey, youtube.com/DannyFrutella. And I also help run the Social Blade Twitter account, so tweet us up anytime.
He's been helping out with all the social media stuff. So if you see like questions of the day and all that jazz, that's all Danny.
That's me.
Fantastic stuff. So guys, unless you have any closing thoughts, I think that is going to wrap up another live stream.
I think so as well.
Great. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you next week. We are announcement here. We're going to be starting a little bit earlier next week. We normally do these at 4 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing 1 p.m. Eastern on the 17th, and a great show lined up. Jason Ergo of Social Blade is teaming up with a production company. They're making a movie, and we've got two of the producer people for that production coming up. So check that out next week, guys. 1 p.m. Eastern time. And that's it. I think we're going to wrap up this show, guys. Thank you for watching, everyone. Give us a like on this video, and comments or anything go in the comment section below. See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem.